Hi, this is Rainer from Stormbringer magazine. We're here with a man who definitely needs no introduction, Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Dave, thank you very much for your time. I hope it's all fine here in Vienna.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. We can't wait to play.
Cool. Let's talk first about the Big Four. Because for a lot of fans, this is a very emotional moment that the Big Four, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and Metallica are now finally on one stage together. But I would like to know, how is it for you personally? Is it also a very emotional moment? You shared the stage with all of the bands already, but now these four together, is this something special for you, or still another Megadeth tour?
Oh, of course it's special. It's historical. It's life-changing for a lot of people that were there. And I think the bragging rights for people who actually witnessed it versus somebody who saw it on YouTube or, you know, saw it in the movie theaters or going to see it on the DVD that's coming up, you know, they weren't there, you know, so to actually watch it is like, it's a fantastic thing. Standing up on stage where I was, being able to look next to me and on either side be flanked by so much tremendous talent, it was great, you know. It's just one of those things where you in the moment it doesn't seem as enormous as it really is. After the fact, you look back and you're like, wow. You know, like when you survive a car crash, you don't think it's such a big deal until you watch it in slow motion. You're thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe I survived, you know. So going up there on stage was really, really amazing, especially when I looked back and saw how everybody was embracing everyone and how, you know, I think if you were there, you would have heard when, through all the, you know, goodbyes and everything at the end, when James and I embraced, the whole audience went, yeah. You know, because that's what they've been waiting for. That's what I think James and I both been waiting for too. So it's a good thing.
That the Big Four tour will also tour throughout the United States, not only in Europe.
That's up to Metallica and their camp, because I think it's fairly obvious for myself. You know, it doesn't need to be the Big Four for me to want to play with James and Lars. And you know, I think if the Big Four doesn't happen, certainly a Megadeth Metallica tour would be great, whether it's, you know, just the two of us, or if you have a support group or something like that. But yeah, I think it was really fun because of what we stand for, you know, in heavy metal. And me and James are like the big daddies of this whole thing. We were the two guitar players that set the wheels in motion when, you know, the first tapes were made of Metallica. You know, and I think it's exciting now to look back and see all the millions of bands that have been created off of what, you know, me and James did sitting in a room in Norwalk, you know. Lars had a lot to do with it too, so please don't mistake that. You know, I'm just talking about more about the guitar stuff.
Since February now, David is back in the band. It was, I guess, for a lot of people, it happens all of a sudden. How long were you in talk with him to prepare his comeback in Megadeth, or was it also for you a very short decision?
Well, you know, we had talked several times. You know, we maintained contact after my arm had gotten hurt and I disbanded the group. You know, but there were also some periods where, you know, we were kind of at odds with each other and you know, kind of some confusing period, you know, with the lawsuit and all that stuff. But for me, I look at it like this, you know, when I became a Christian, my life changed, you know, and I don't push that on anybody. It's my own thing, but you know, it changed, and I figured, you know, if I've been forgiven, then I need to be able to forgive people. And one of the first people that came to mind was him. So we went to dinner in Arizona. Of course, I'd moved to San Diego because I didn't want to live in Arizona anymore. I didn't want to be out there and be reminded of anything because of how just odd everything had gotten. So I went out and saw him. We had dinner. He said he apologized. It was the dumbest thing he'd ever done. And I said, I forgive you, you know, because, you know, I love him. He's my friend. So it didn't happen at that point. Talked to him a couple times after that. Still didn't happen then. But, you know, the wheels were in motion. And you know, this is supposed to happen regardless of what I think, you know, because if there really is a God, then I believe that, you know, this is his plan for me to be back playing with Dave, and vice versa. So we got together, we talked a little bit, and I said, you know, why don't we just try it for this Rust in Peace thing and see if it works. We'll do it one day at a time kind of thing, and when it's over, if you want to keep playing, cool. If you don't, cool. And see, I was the last person on earth that thought that he'd be playing with me again. He was the second to the last person, you know. You may be the third person. But, you know, when it happened, it felt natural. The first song we did was Symphony of Destruction, and you know, it was comfortable for us to play together, you know, and I think the rest now is just kind of, we kind of feel like, well, what happened? You know, why did we even have to go our separate ways? Because it was just so natural to play together.
The final night of the, you mentioned it, Rust in Peace tour in San Diego was taped on, will be released also in September on Blu-ray and DVD. You played the Rust in Peace also on several spots on this Europe tour. Can we expect it now, today in Vienna, or not?
Tonight, let's see, where's our set list? We play a lot of the Rust in Peace record, not everything, but we play a lot of it.
Since Endgame, you have a new guitar player. It's Chris Broderick. Besides his abilities of playing guitar, I saw in the net some statements from you that you brought him to your house and you talked to him while building your gym, and that was one of the reasons why you put him in the band.
You have to understand what that meant. Yeah. He came to my house, played guitar, and of course he played guitar well. I wanted to see how the two of us would get together and how we would get along on a project. It's something that we worked together on, something that required instructions, which it obviously did because you're putting this thing together and all the moving parts. Something that was going to take some time. So, you know, it was about 3 hours that we sat together and put this thing together. And it really helped me see, one, how we get along, two, how he does things, and three, if we work good together. And it was fantastic. Now, I don't say go out and build a gym to all you out there in happy heavy metal land, but you know, it certainly helped me.
Especially in when Endgame came out, you did a lot of interviews, and in some of these interviews, the retirement topic came up. You said you have one record with Roadrunner, and then maybe you will quit and put Megadeth aside.
See, it's the sad thing is about, you know, associating retirement with the word quit, because there's no quit in me. It's just that my body is it's aging. In my neck, I have degenerative disc disease, which means that the head banging has gotten to my spine, and even though, you know, you like to say, well, I'm made of metal. Well, I'm not. I'm suffering. Tom had a surgery. You know, James had the same thing. It looks like it's inevitable for me. It just comes from headbanging, and if I can't go out and have fun, then I don't want to play. You know, if I have to go out there and fake it, then why would I be doing it? If I'm going out there and I'm faking it, I'm doing it for the money. And I've never done this for the money. I've done it because I love playing it. Now, granted, you need to make money in order to survive, and in order to be a good businessman, you have to pay attention to that stuff, because it really is a business. But you play music on top of it. And the thing with us is, instead of us squeezing a concert in between business all day long, what we do is we squeeze business in between playing our concert at night. And the rest of the day is just preparation for the show.
This is also maybe one of the reasons why you built Vic's Garage, to produce or let other bands record in your studio?
Yes and no. That was also for us to record in. It was for us to rehearse in. It was for us to store our touring gear, because, you know, we've got a semi full of gear sitting in that place that's just for touring. No one would want it, because it's like, you know, stands and you know, ramps and framing and crazy truss and, you know, lighting apparatus and crap like that. But, you know, you need a place to store it. So it was multifunctional, having Vic's Garage. You know, that's one part of it. The studio is another, the school's another, and I wanted that place so that I can be rehearsing, and that if I needed to, if I had a riff that came up, I could say, okay, stop, let's record, and hit a button, and we're ready to record. So that's what it's like there. It's a state-of-the-art recording facility for a heavy metal band. You know, big, huge live room for drums. Endgame was recorded there, so you know, you can tell by the sounds on that record what it sounds like.
Thank you for your time. And have fun on the rest of the dates in the European tour, especially on the Big Four dates. Thank you.
Well, there's no more of those right now until possibly in the future. We've got one more Sonosphere show to do, and man, all I'm concerned about is playing tonight and making sure you guys have a good time.